timber seasoning is the controlled drying out of timber. So, all timber we use, especially in the MTW classroom, has been gone through a drying process. Let's just take, for example, if you go out to a field and you pick up a piece of a log, it's extremely heavy. But if you pick up a piece of timber the same size from inside in your workshop, it's going to be an awful lot lighter. That is because timber has what's called a moisture content. So, what that is, moisture content is the percentage of the weight of the water within the piece of timber. And in order for us to use timber to work with, we must first dry it out. And the process of drying it out is called seasoning. So, timber is what's called hygroscopic. Hygroscopic means the timber reacts with its outside environment. Just like the piece of timber out in the field is very heavy and very wet and has a high moisture content, because outside the weather is wet and has a high moisture content in the air. The piece of timber in the woodwork room, however, because the room is warmer and there's less moisture in the air, is lighter. If you brought the piece of timber from the field into your MTW workroom and left it here for a couple of weeks, what do you think would happen then? It'll get lighter. Exactly. So, this is what's called equilibrium moisture content. This means that the timber will either release or absorb moisture from the atmosphere in order to create a balance. So, the timber will always have the same moisture content as the atmosphere or the environment it's in. If the timber is outside, it will absorb moisture to have the same amount of moisture as the area outside. If it's inside, in the workshop, it will release moisture into the atmosphere until the air atmosphere content and the timber are in equilibrium, so they're even. Finally, there are two main ways of seasoning timber. The first is natural seasoning, where timber is stacked, the same as how you've been shown by your teacher, and left in a covered area, and left to dry by the air. It's kind of like hanging clothes on a clothes horse or on a washing line, and they're left to dry by the air and the wind. The second way is using what's called a kiln. And a kiln is like a big oven. So have you guys ever seen when clay makers make a pot and they put it into this big oven to dry? This is the exact same concept. It's also called a kiln. However, the kiln we use for drying timber is huge. It's an awful lot bigger and it fits a lot more into it. And the process takes a longer time.